are here, you guys, for something really exciting. We've got some very talented young people here. Big ideas for a bright future. Student pitch competition. I'm going to bring up my WICERS family member, Thea Washington Smith, who will kick this off. And Thea, thank you for brainchilding this idea and for finding our students. I know they had exams and all kinds of stuff, but thank you so much, Thea Washington Smith.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. This is the part of the WICERS experience that always gets me the most excited because it's a chance for me to really bring what is a personal passion and something that I get to work in every day to life by way of the WICERS stage. So this is our big ideas for a bright future student pitch competition. And what we do each year is recognize and celebrate and uplift the entrepreneurial talent and innovative ideas and vision of young people right here in our Atlanta community. Now for me, this is something that really does speak to the pulse of what WICERS is all about because I get to serve as the executive director of the Women's Entrepreneurship Initiative, which is the only city-funded initiative of its kind in the entire United States dedicated to supporting early-stage women entrepreneurs to become well-resourced and well-trained on their quest to become job-creating entrepreneurs. So we are always so excited to intersect our mission with the mission of WICERS, which is to celebrate and empower women in non-traditional fields by way of bringing young people to the stage who have great ideas that are going to ultimately be at the forefront of our future. So we're in for a treat. We've got 3 incredibly talented young people with us this afternoon who have some ideas that blew my mind as I was reading about them, and I think it will for you as well. And with that, we're going to get started, but a couple of housekeeping rules for all of you, for the audience. Please feel free to applaud, feel free to cheer. We want to support and celebrate these young people while they're with us. We will have questions from our judges, so we do want to make sure that that applause quiet so that we can hear from our judges after each of our participants presents their business idea. And then hopefully if we have some time at the end, we'll be able to open it up for Q&A from you as well. So be thinking about those questions that you want to hear from our future of entrepreneurs. You never know who might in this room have an idea we want to invest in the future. And with that, I'm going to introduce our judges, or actually allow them to introduce themselves to you. So we'll start to my left, and if you'll stand up and tell us who you are.
Hello.
Okay, there you go.
Hi, my name is Becky Hackenberg. I'm with Stantec. It's an engineering construction consulting business here in Atlanta, and I'm a vice president of our water business line.
Good afternoon. My name is Jameen Motan, and I am the founder of Skylar Security. We are a non-traditional private security company that offers customization to both security guards as well as to the clients that we serve.
Hi there, my name is Triana Nguyen. I am a part of Verge Group, and I am a food service operator at Hartsville, Atlanta, and Jackson International Airport. Thank you.
All right, so students, you guys know how this works. Each of you will come to the stage. You have the handy clicker with you. It's going to walk you through your presentation slides. You have 3 minutes to present. Linda, our fabulous Linda, she's serving as Vanna today. Linda's going to let you know when you get to the 1-minute mark. Once that 1-minute mark hits, we'll need you to start wrapping it up, and then we'll turn it over to judges for questions. So please stay on the stage after your presentation so we all can hear questions from our judges, okay? And anyone who is a WICERS veteran knows that we will deliberate today, but we love to build the momentum of suspense around here, so you find out who is selected as the winner of the competition tomorrow during lunch. So if you do not, yet have your lunch ticket, now is a great time to do it after we wrap this up. Please make sure that you secure that. You do not want to miss it. It is one of the highlights of the conference. All right, with that, we're going to get started with our first student. If you'll join me on stage. And after you make your introduction, your time will start.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope all is well with everyone. My name is Angela Pursuth, and I'm a student at Georgia State University, majoring in entrepreneurship. Again, my name is Angela Pursuth. My vision is to develop an app that enhances students' college experiences by guiding them and connecting them to their own experiences, by the creation of their own experiences. The problem is Georgia State students are overwhelmingly lost. They are lost geographically. They don't know where their classes are. They don't know what resources are available on campus. They are lost academically. They don't know who their advisors are, and they don't know what classes to take for the semester. And they're lost emotionally. They do not know anyone on campus, and they do not know who to trust. Our target market focus will be incoming students, such as freshmen, transfers, international students, and non-traditional students. Our solution is to develop a navigation, organization, and personalization app. The navigation is going to be the main component of our app, is to develop a virtual interactive map that will help students find their classes, and as well as finding their way around campus and finding resources available that will cater to them in their majors. To personalize, they would choose the clubs, organization, interests, and hobbies they're interested in the semester, and that information will compile into a vision board or a planner so students can see an overview of what their semester will look like. The goal is to, by the time graduation comes, they will see their accomplishments in milestones by the time their college years are up. Our competitors will be Google and Apple Maps in regards to the virtual interactive map, as well as Georgia State's campus tour platform, social media platforms such as Facebook and Instagram, and as well as word of mouth will be the most powerful competitors because our users will be our main determinant of if they like our app or not. And lastly, we are asking for $50,000 to fund our startup. $30,000 will go towards developing the app and putting the app onto the App Store. $15,000 will go towards copyright, licensing, registration, and branding and marketing. And lastly, $5,000 will actually help me go study abroad in Vietnam for the summer. Thank you.
I'll start. So the app, is it going to be a free download for the users, or is it something that they would have to pay to download? How do the users experience the app?
So the user is free for them, and all they have to do is log in with their Georgia State account once they get accepted to the college.
Okay, so I have a few questions. The first one is, you mentioned studying abroad. How are you going to connect that to the development of your technology? Is it related to your personal college experience, or is it related directly to the development of the app?
Well, the college experience is actually a personal experience, and that's how I came about with the idea for specifically Georgia State and hopefully across the board. And study abroad is actually something else for the future, so it doesn't go regards to this app.
Okay, and then my second question, your app, are you only going to be app-based, or are you going to be web-based as well?
Can you repeat that, please?
App-based, is it going to be an app, or is it going to be like a dashboard where they can have access to it online? Or is it just going to be an app technology?
We are still trying to decide that. So we are currently creating a prototype to see what works for the students. So I don't know. Okay. It's kind of trial error at the moment.
Okay, and your ideal client, and your competitors. So you mentioned a few competitors. You said Facebook and Google. How are colleges solving this problem now? And what features do you like, and what features would you offer a competitive feature for?
Okay, students as of right now, they're just asking their friends or the surrounding offices or just random people walking around. And we do have a Georgia State app, but it's not really efficient as to navigating students around the campus. Google and Apple is a monopoly for navigation, but it does not cater to students such as Georgia State.
How do you plan on engaging your core market to actually download the app, to know about you before word of mouth? So the first users, how would you engage them?
I would actually start, I guess, getting them once they get accepted to the college. And I know they take tours before they come to their first day. So I would try to attract them there. So, yeah.
So you mentioned that Georgia State currently has an app or some applications similar to this, or maybe somewhat like this. So is there an opportunity to partner with the college to either replace theirs with yours or expand on theirs? Because I guess I'm just thinking the students that you're targeting, your target audience, getting that list would be something that you'd get from the college, or having access to them through the tours, et cetera. Is this something that you've explored with the college yet, as far as a potential partnership with them, so that it's not competing with the program they already have in place?
Right, absolutely. We did think about partnering with Georgia State. We have not spoken to anyone in that particular department who would take over or run this. So if we first thought about selling to Georgia State, and as well as expanding to other campuses and selling it to them. But maybe if we partner with Georgia State, that would actually be more reasonable, I would say.
Let's get a round of applause for our first participant, Angela Pursuit. Thank you. All right, next we are going to have Alexandra Newhouse present her idea. Alexandra, if you'll introduce yourself, your college, your major, and then your time starts after that.
Y'all can just call me Lexi. I go to Georgia State University and I'm studying media entrepreneurship. And today I will be pitching, maybe, there we go, PAPR. So we're bringing books off the page into the real world. Around 83% of what is learned is actually through sight. And we surveyed 40 educators and found that 100% of them believe that education needs to be more innovative. No shock there. But 96% said that they believe that AR is an effective way of doing that. So PAPR is looking to leverage creativity through augmented reality. So the goal of that is we are targeting students that are transitioning from picture books to picture-free novels. And we see that students in this transitional phase are experiencing difficulties with reading comprehension simply due to the lack of visual aids. So PAPR is you just open up your smartphone, open up the camera, and you scan the front of a book or the end of a chapter. That will then unlock an augmented reality character, which will then test the reader's understanding through questions, as well as add some supplemental information to enhance their reading experience. So looking at the opportunity growth, this is a $115 billion industry where 233 million copies are sold annually for children's books alone. This is the fastest growing segment of book sales at a 4% annual growth rate. Now, looking at the top publishers, that's going to be our main target as we're taking a B2B approach. Looking specifically at Scholastic, they have nearly 600 original titles that they publish annually, and they have 2.5 billion insight points for student data. This is key for us because as students are completing chapters in their book and they're asking questions and providing responses, this is data that we can extract and give to parents and teachers so they have a better understanding of where their students are struggling when reading. And then we got some confirmation from the account executive at Scholastic saying that this is a viable idea and publishers have yet to explore it and leverage this augmented reality technology within their books. And granted, it is a competitive landscape, but when looking specifically within our industry, there are only 2 companies that are doing something similar. The first one focuses on entertainment. So they're taking picture books and adding an AR component on top of that. That's pretty trivial because they already have the visual aid that they need through the actual book. And then the other side of this, we see education. So they're taking very technical subjects such as anatomy textbooks and using augmented reality to help illustrate those concepts. PAPR is going to be that bridge between entertainment and education by providing that visual aid. So moving forward, we are ready to bring our MVP to the next stage and begin going to those companies like Scholastic so that we can start delivering these technologies, and students can have, express higher rates of literacy in their classrooms. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Questions from our judges? You have mics?
Okay. All right, so I have a couple questions. So who is creating the augmented reality tools, like the character you talked about and the materials that go along with that? Is that the author of the book? Is that an added, like a third party that comes in and supports it? Like, how does that sort of work with the original author's intent?
So that's a great question. So this idea actually came out of Startup Weekend, which is a 54-hour competition. I went into the competition having no knowledge of augmented reality coding, and within that 54 hours, I learned how to code an app. And so our example was we took Percy Jackson, and that's a pretty well-known name. It's owned by Disney. So we took the characters that they had already had. So they already have the Percy Jackson 3D model. It's just a matter of taking what they already have and putting it within the app, which I coded. And so when we scanned the cover of Percy Jackson, that picture of a mythological creature popped up. So we can either self-create the creatures themselves, but a lot of times these books and publishers already have designed the characters that they need.
And then, so what is the tool that this whoever's reading these books, what are they using to access? Is it a phone?
Yeah, so all they need is a smartphone, and they just have to have a camera. So they don't have to download any weird apps, and they don't need any permissions. So it's a very safe way. They're just opening the camera on their phone.
Got it, thank you.
What age group are you targeting with this app?
Right, so it really depends, but we're specifically looking at students that are transitioning away from picture books into picture-free novels, so full-on text. That transition typically happens between 3rd and 5th grade, but it really depends on the school itself and the program.
And I know this, you're trying to help with literacy, correct, with this app?
Yes.
So how do you track if this app is helping them read? How do you do that in the app?
Yeah, so one of the main reasons that we wanted to partner with Scholastic is because they are partnered with the Accelerated Readers program. And so what they do is, that's a program where they provide quiz questions, and that obtains all the data on the overall reading comprehension. So they already have the quizzes and the data there, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring that, take it away from, it's a time test that they do on a computer, which can be quite intimidating as a student, especially if they have test anxiety. So we're taking those questions and then putting it within our app in the same way that you would complete a test on a computer. You're going through those questions on your phone.
Okay, I have 2 questions. First question, could you go over your cost in terms of where, how much it's going to cost for you to develop that technology, and would that increase the cost of purchasing that particular novel or book? And then you're a little bit of what you can share, your revenue model, and how you plan on becoming profitable. That's question number 1.
Okay.
Question number 2 is I'd like to hear a little bit more about your pain points. What problem are you specifically solving? And I hear literacy, I hear comprehension. Is there a problem with, there are educational programs all over the world, okay? So you're entering a market that obviously everyone's trying to get into or in. Tell me what pain point you're specifically addressing and why you have no competition when your slide obviously shows that you have a lot. Explain those 2 for me, thank you.
Okay, so I'll start with the second one actually, so 50% of Americans can't read above an 8th grade reading level, which is a problem. And one of the main reasons for that is, one, they're just not even touching a book to begin with. So that's the first pain point that we're trying to address, is we just want people to read, which is, it's a crazy problem. But so this is one way to help draw readers, because they want to be on their phone, and this is a great way of complementing that. We don't want to take away the technology. We want to use it so that it's actually effective for them. So that's one of the main reasons we're targeting that, is just to improve just literacy all around. But then the actual level of literacy in itself through the reading comprehension, like testing of questions, providing additional information that can clarify what they're reading. That's the main pain point as far as that goes. And then for the revenue model, so our key one is going to be B2B, going to these publishing companies and saying, you're trying to sell books, but students don't want books. They want to be on their phone. Here's a solution to that. In addition, we also have a SaaS model. So when looking at more prominent companies like Disney, for example, and they want to license Percy Jackson, they can actually license our platform, and we won't be displayed as paper. We'll be displayed as their Disney app, whatever they like. So that's also another revenue model. And for our third one, for people that already have the existing book and they want to add a QR code to ensure that they can unlock it, they'll just paste the QR code to the associated page, and then therefore they can unlock it that way as well. So that's business to consumer.
Okay, one more, Thea. The 6,000, the money that you're going to get, what would you do with the prize money?
For selling the packet?
What would you do with the prize that you would be receiving?
Sorry, say that one more time.
What would you be how would you utilize this platform to further your app and your technology?
Right. So, as far as
You win the prize money.
oh, with this. Oh,
When you get the coins.
the reason why I'm here. Okay.
When you get the coins, right?
Yeah.
What would you do with the coins?
So when I developed,
Or you could just give it to me. I could take it.
Yeah, no. When I developed the app, it involved no money to do it. But of course, that's a very basic level. So we want to actually build the app itself, and that's looking to be about $1,000, if not more. I'm willing to put in the work because I didn't think I could program this, and I ended up being able to. So I think a lot of it is just going to be a matter of getting the characters themselves, if not designing them ourselves, and then getting a sustainable platform so that students don't have to switch in between if they're switching books, but rather keep it all within one.
All right, let's show some support for Lexi, everyone. Taught herself to code in 54 hours. 54 hours straight. Did y'all eat and sleep or what? A little bit? You're students, it's fine, you'll okay. All right, for our last presentation, we have Maya Newhouse joining us. Maya Newton, joining us to the stage. She's gonna tell us her college and major. I'll share this. There's one up there for you, yeah. And then your time starts after that.
Hi everyone, my name is Maya Newton. I'm currently a senior at Georgia State University, double majoring in computer information systems and managerial sciences. Imagine you're driving down Piedmont Avenue one sunny Sunday afternoon after brunch, and you pull up to a stop sign, and on the corner, you see a team of athletes fundraising for their team. Now, they may be fundraising for equipment or a national tournament, and you think, oh, that's cute, but I really don't have time, or I really don't feel like donating today. You may not realize, but they've probably been standing out there for around 3 hours, and each car that has driven past has probably thought the same thing, and that's the problem. There's a lack of support and resources for athletes in low-income communities. 21.5% of children between the ages of 6 and 17 participate in sports. And also, 16.4 million children under the age of 18 live in poverty. The average cost to participate in sports is $381. Now, this may not seem like a lot, but to a child living in poverty, this could be the difference between playing sports and not playing sports, which could negatively impact their health and the chances of living a better life. My name is Maya Newton, and I'm the founder and CEO of Duffel App. It is a reward and donation-based crowdfunding platform using blockchain-enabled technology to provide resources in low-income communities. Here's how it works. So the user logs in, they're able to sign in, and they're also able to enter a PIN number so that they don't have to keep logging in. They're able to search for a team or a project and able to pay for the funding needed. They're also able to gain rewards like Hawks tickets or anything athletically based. And they're able to track their donations. So here's our vision. Our vision is to redefine philanthropy and create opportunities for underserved communities to participate in innovation, science, and technology in the city of Atlanta. Our value proposition is that we provide trust through crowdfunding platforms as well as affordability. Our major competitors are major crowdfunding sites such as Kickstarter, GoFundMe, and Indiegogo. Reward and donation-based crowdfunding is a $5.5 billion industry, and the global amount raised by crowdfunding is $34 billion. For time purposes, I'm going to go ahead and skip past the revenue model, but I will be open for questioning. So we are asking for $25,000, and we're going to be using the money for marketing, technology, website development, other miscellaneous costs, initial business payments, inventory, and improvements on the app. So the next time you're driving down a road and you see a group of athletes, make sure you take a second look. Thank you.
So thank you, I'll start. So the users of the app, you showed the logging in process. Is that the student athletes or is that people who want to donate or both?
Those are donors. Student teams or athletes, they're able to register with our site. So, yeah.
And then how would a potential donor be aware of a given team? Are they, so like you mentioned the students fundraising on the corner, are they handing out a flyer instead that says go to Duffel app and support us? Or I mean, how would I know about such and such little league team or whatever it might be?
Yes, so that would be either through word of mouth or they would be able to see it on the app. So when you go to the home page, you would be able to search for teams or projects, or you can search all and it'll come up which teams are fundraising. So that's how they will be able to notify.
And my last question is the funding requests, is that by a team only or can an individual, like I'm trying to raise funds so I can be part of a team, is an individual allowed to sort of request the crowdfunding or is it by a group?
Wait, can you
yeah, so those that are requesting the funding,
yes.
Is it have to be an organized team or could it be an individual student athlete who's just trying to raise the funds to buy the equipment or whatever might be necessary?
Yes, so as of right now, we're trying to only have the teams be able to request funding. Further down the line, we're going to think about having individuals, but there's certain kinks that we have to figure out.
Okay, this is a little dear to my heart. As a competitive and professional athlete, yes. It gets costly. Yes. And also when I'm in the city and I see the little kid football players on the corner, it breaks my heart. Mm-hmm. If I could somehow contribute to all of them, I would. My question to you is, so I commend you for even coming up with the idea. A few questions. So you kind of brushed over the competitive slide, and I think that's a critical slide because I'd like to know what makes yours different, and then when you talk about that, address for me the cost, because now we're adding a cost to the league or to the teams to have access to the funds. So the GoFundMe and the Kickstarter, their cost versus your cost. And why should, if I were a league, why would I want to utilize your platform versus going to GoFundMe? And then in that, if you can answer my second question, because I have a third, a second question of your cost of using the app.
Okay, so the first question was based on competitors. So yes, as competitors, they charge a listing or a transaction fee of 5%. So we would try to be a little bit more affordable. So anywhere from 2.5% to 5% of the total funds raised. And what was your second question?
So you answered it. The other question is, how many sports teams are currently using the GoFundMe and your competitors' platforms?
Great question. I'm not actually sure of that number. That's something that I can definitely go back and look at. But I know some of my competitors, they are broad, so they don't target towards specifically impacting communities of sports specifically. There was one competitor that I found that was in New Zealand, but we're in America, so.
Okay, then answer this one. We are in America, but I think that's a critical number. So you need to find out, and maybe let me rephrase the question. So how many sports teams are currently servicing the city of Atlanta, particularly Metro Atlanta area? Do you have that number?
I don't have that number.
Okay.
I do have a list of teams. Yeah, I don't have that number.
How would you go about vetting leagues or teams and thwarting off scammers? Because that's a big, in this platform, there are a lot of scammers trying to just raise money for themselves, and it doesn't get to the end user.
Great question. So as a part of the registration, I wanted to implement trust within this app, which is another value proposition that we serve our community. So the teams that are in Atlanta that are under the poverty level, we would have them registered on the app as a certified member. So if there is a donor that wants to donate towards that specific group, they know specifically that it's not someone just wanting to raise money and keeping it for themselves.
Okay, judges all done? Yes, all right, let's give Maya a hand. And I won't have you go far, actually. I'll keep you with me. We have a few minutes for questions. Any questions from our audience for any of our participants? Well, they're a tough crowd, huh? No questions? All right. Well, thank you, Maya, Lexi, and Angela. You all were fantastic. Let's give them a round of applause. Augmented reality, learning to code, I mean, good grief, solving problems on campus. This is really what this competition is all about, is hearing unique, disruptive ideas from our young people to help tackle some of the problems that we currently see in our community. So again, great job to each of you. And for all of us in the audience, you will have to return tomorrow to find out who is going home with the prize. This is a $6,000 prize, everyone. So it's an incredible opportunity for a deserving young person to really be able to impact their education as well as help to fuel their business idea. It looks like our judges are hard at work deliberating, so we'll let them do that. Now is a great time to take a break if you need to. Make sure you grab your luncheon ticket tomorrow and then be back on time for the 1:45 start of the next session. Thank you all so much. Another round for our participants.